Good day, everyone. I welcome you to another episode of Simplify Chemistry for WAEC and JAMB examination students. And in this particular video, we'll be talking about standard separating techniques. This is actually the episode 2 of standard separation techniques. And this one, we explain decantation, evaporation, and filtration. I repeat, decantation, evaporation, and filtration. What is decantation? Decantation is more of separating a soluble solid and what? A liquid, where you separate soluble solid and liquid, or two immiscible liquid, liquid that cannot be mixed together. So this one here, let me explain again. Simply means you are separating a soluble solid from a solution. Remember, we always say solute plus what? Plus solvent will give us what? Solution. So the solute here, it is, let's say, let me give any form of, let me just say sand, okay, plus the solvent here, let me say water. Then the solution here will now be what? Sand what? Solution. Now, if you want to separate something like this, the method we are going to use is what? Decantation. Most of us are actually using this method, but we don't know that we are using what decantation is, what decantation method. The first thing you have to do is get a glass or a beaker, fill in this beaker with water and sand. After a while, for like, let's say you can leave it there for days or you can leave it there for hours, then you notice that the sand here, they will settle down. The sand, they will say after a while, the sand or the flux will do what? Will settle down at the bottom of the beaker. Then the next thing, you have to get a clean beaker. Then you have to turn the water into this one, remaining just the sand, and you have to turn it carefully. Though it is not a very accurate method whereby you can get your sand and the water completely, but it's actually a method of separating soluble solid from what? From solution. So you decantate, you turn the water into it, then after a while you stop. You are going to see just the sand here and the water will be here. Most of us have actually done that. If you have a bucket where you do fresh water, maybe a container, a rubber for water at home, after a while, if you shake that rubber, you notice that it is dirty. Why is it dirty? Because all the flux, the germs and the rays that you are not seeing with your naked eye, after a while, all of them will clump together and they will settle down at the bottom of the water. So after that, you can now turn the good water out of it, whereby you throw away the what? The dirt. So that method is called what? Decantation. Another very good method we use again is called evaporation. And evaporation is to separate soluble solid from what? From solution. Almost the same thing with this one. So what we have here, the one of sand and water again, what we do is that if you put this your sand in fire, which is your sand solution in fire, what you are able to heat, evaporation is going to take place immediately. Let's say this is, if you put heat here, this is heat, and this is your sand and water solution. If you heat it, what will happen is that the water is going to evaporate, and what you are going to have here is what? Is sand. So you can actually separate it. Let me explain this immiscible liquid. There are two liquids that cannot be mixed together. Let's say oil and water. Oil and what? And water. They can't be mixed because of their density. So water will settle down while the oil will come up. So as long as the water is here, which is the H2O, and the oil is here, if you want to get your oil from the water, what you do is that you decantate. You wait for a while. You allow the oil to come up while the water to do what? To settle down. Then you cannot decantate. You cannot remove your oil from it. Like what I said, it is not 100% accurate, but at least you can recover part of it. Then the last one, which is filtration, is the use of filter paper. Some person will always call it a porous filter paper. Now, the filter paper is like a paper. I believe that most of us have seen a filter paper. Assuming I was in my lab, I would have shown you what a filter paper looks like. I'm going to create a video on chemical apparatus, so please stay tuned to that video. So when you use a filter paper, let's say I am using an ordinary paper to filter something. What you are going to filter would be insoluble solid from what? From solution. So you are going to get your insoluble solid, which is your solid, and your what? And your liquid at the end of the whole thing. For example, let me use powder If you put powder, or let me use any other solid again that can, there are some kind of powder that you use, they are going to float on top of the water. Let me see you work with the powder. They will float on top of, they won't settle down. They won't dissolve the water, they are going to float. They will be suspended, or they are going to float on top of the water. So those insoluble solid, which is the one that cannot be dissolved in water, get a filter paper, pour the solid and the water inside the filter paper. What we are going to see is that the water is going to go through. So let's say this is the filter paper, then this is the container at the bottom. If you pour all of them here, the whole thing here, what you are going to get here is the clean water, while you are going to see the insoluble solid on top of the what? Of the filter paper. So the insoluble solid is called the residue, while what is inside the which is what has filtered through, is called the what? The filtrate. So that's another key thing I want you to take note of. So with the ones I've explained so far, I believe you can differentiate decantation, evaporation, and filtration. Both of them are actually kind of related, but decantation, you decantate, you allow the flux to settle down, then you remove the water from it. Evaporation, the major thing you are going to get is the solid, whereby the liquid is going to go, you are going to lose the liquid to the what? To the atmosphere. While for filtration, you are going to get your solid and your what? And your liquid, which is more perfect compared to decantation. So that is the general thing you are expected to know. Let me give you a question real quick. If, for example, you want to separate two particles, one of them is solid, while the other one is liquid. This liquid, let's say it is water, and this solid, let's say this solid, let me even give you another liquid again. Let's say this liquid is petrol, the one you normally call fuel, of here. Now, if you have to separate petrol from water, which of these three methods are you going to use? Are you going to use decantation? Are you going to use evaporation? Or you are going to use filtration? If you know the answer, please go to my comment section and drop that. Our major goal remain simplify chemistry for WAEC and JAMB examination students, and we are going to teach the chemistry textbook from the beginning to the end. If you are saying that I have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I don't know what you are still waiting for. Subscribe to Gido Academy today if you truly want to score 80 plus in your JAMB exam, and if you want to have an A in your chemistry, 80 plus in your WAEC or JAMB exam, and if you want to have an A in your WAEC chemistry. Stay tuned, and I hope to see you all in our next video. But for now, goodbye.